Have you ever wondered who created the very first robot? Or how humans learned to fly before airplanes existed? What if I told you that the answers lie not in modern science, but in ancient myths? From self-moving machines to magical flight suits, humanity's greatest inventions were first dreamed up in stories that shaped civilization itself. I'm your host at Mystorian, and today we're exploring 7 incredible mythical inventions that changed everything. Our journey begins with a love story that birthed music itself. Picture this: a young nymph named Syrinx running for her life from the persistent god Pan. Just as he's about to catch her, she begs the river spirits to transform her into reeds. Pan, reaching out to embrace her, finds himself clutching nothing but hollow river canes. As the wind blows through them, they create a haunting melody, and in his grief and inspiration, Pan cuts the reeds into different lengths, binding them together to create the first panpipes. But this isn't just a pretty tale. The syrinx, or pan flute, represents humanity's first understanding of musical acoustics. By cutting reeds to different lengths, Pan discovered the fundamental principles of pitch and resonance. Ancient Greek musicians actually studied these ratios, leading to Pythagoras' groundbreaking work on musical harmony and mathematics. Think about it. A myth about a failed romance gave birth to both music and mathematical physics. Archaeologists have discovered panpipes dating back over 6,000 years, making them one of humanity's oldest known musical instruments. From the Andean siku to Chinese bao, variations of Pan's invention spread across every continent, becoming the foundation for all wind instruments. Next time you hear a flute or saxophone, remember, you're listening to the echo of Pan's ancient grief. Now let's visit the world's first robotics laboratory, the volcanic forge of Hephaestus, god of craftsmanship and technology. While modern engineers dream of creating artificial life, Hephaestus was already mass-producing it millennia ago. His workshop was staffed by golden maidens who could think, speak, and move entirely on their own. He created mechanical tripods that rolled into Zeus's feasts automatically, serving food and wine to the gods. These weren't just fancy serving carts. They were the world's first self-guided vehicles. But Hephaestus's most impressive creation was Talos, a giant bronze automaton that patrolled the shores of Crete. Powered by divine ichor flowing through bronze veins, Talos would superheat himself and crush enemy ships in his burning embrace. If this sounds familiar to modern sci-fi fans, it should. From Asimov's robots to Marvel's Iron Man, our modern visions of artificial beings trace directly back to Hephaestus's workshop. What's truly fascinating is how these myths influence real technological development. Greek engineers like Hero of Alexandria, inspired by stories of Hephaestus's automatons, created genuine mechanical wonders. His steam-powered devices and automatic doors seemed like magic to ancient observers, but they worked on principles we still use today. The mythical divine ichor in Talos's veins, that's essentially hydraulic fluid, the same technology that powers modern machinery. Let's journey east to ancient China, where the ding, a mythical brewing cauldron, wasn't just a pot for cooking. According to legend, the first ding was created by the Yellow Emperor's astronomer, who captured the essence of the stars themselves to brew elixirs of immortality. These magical cauldrons could distinguish between poisonous and beneficial herbs, automatically adjust their temperature, and even predict the future through the patterns in their brew. Now, you might think this is just ancient superstition, but these myths led to real scientific breakthroughs. Chinese alchemists, seeking to recreate the ding's legendary powers, developed sophisticated metallurgy techniques. They experimented with different metals and alloys, leading to the invention of bronze, brass, and even an early form of stainless steel. Their quest for the elixir of immortality, it led to the discovery of gunpowder, alcohol distillation, and numerous medicinal compounds we still use today. The ding became so important that it evolved into a symbol of imperial power. Each Chinese dynasty had 9 great dings, representing their authority. When a dynasty fell, legend said their dings would become so heavy that no one could move them. Perhaps history's first anti-theft device. The fascinating part? Archaeological evidence shows these cauldrons really did incorporate advanced metallurgical techniques that wouldn't be rediscovered in the West for centuries. Flying cars might still be a dream, but personal flying devices? That's so 6th century, at least according to the legend of Wayland the Smith. After being imprisoned by a cruel king who hamstrung him to prevent escape, this Germanic master craftsman created a flying cloak made from the feathers of every bird that visited his island prison. But here's the clever part. Before escaping, he taught the king's daughter his secrets, ensuring his knowledge wouldn't be lost. What makes this story remarkable isn't just the flying cloak itself, but how it inspired real technological innovation. Medieval craftsmen, fascinated by Wayland's legend, began studying bird flight and aerodynamics. While they couldn't recreate his magical cloak, their observations laid the groundwork for modern aviation principles. Leonardo da Vinci's flying machine sketches show striking similarities to descriptions of Wayland's feathered cloak. The story contains another fascinating detail often overlooked. Wayland didn't just escape, he shared his knowledge. This reflects a crucial principle in technological development. Innovation thrives through collaboration and teaching. It's no coincidence that the legend spread throughout Germanic and Norse territories alongside advanced metalworking techniques. In Hindu mythology, Maya was the divine architect who built the triple cities of the demons, entire metropolises that could fly through the air. But his real claim to fame? The invention of the measuring rod and the compass. According to legend, these weren't just ordinary tools. They were infused with divine mathematics, capable of calculating perfect proportions automatically. The fascinating part is how these mythical tools influenced real architectural practices. Ancient Indian architects used a system of measurement based on astronomical calculations. Just like in Maya's legends, they created buildings with perfect acoustic properties, earthquake-resistant foundations, and even early air conditioning systems. The Maya Sabha, Hall of Maya, in the Mahabharata, describes architectural principles that modern engineers are still rediscovering. Before Minerva, or Athena to the Greeks, invented the loom, humans were literally coming apart at the seams. According to Roman myth, she created not just the loom, but the entire art of weaving after being moved by the plight of a young girl struggling to make clothes. But this wasn't just about fashion. The invention of weaving technology represented humanity's first steps toward creating composite materials. Think about it. Weaving takes individual weak fibers and transforms them into strong, flexible fabrics. This same principle underlies everything from carbon fiber composites to reinforced concrete. When Minerva taught humans to weave, she wasn't just showing them how to make clothes. She was introducing the concept of combining materials to create something stronger than its individual parts. The myth gets even more interesting when you look at its technological implications. The first looms led to the development of binary mathematical systems, over, under, warp, weft, which would eventually inspire everything from musical notation to computer programming. In fact, the punch card system used in early computers was first developed for automated looms. Talk about a thread that runs through history. Our final stop is the mysterious magical forge of the Celtic gods, where the four treasures of the Tuatha De Danann were created. This wasn't your average blacksmith's workshop. It was said to combine the powers of earth, air, fire, and water in perfect harmony. The most fascinating part? The forge could only be operated during specific astronomical alignments, suggesting an early understanding of metallurgical timing. The myths tell us that the forge's fire never went out, and its bellows worked automatically, an early vision of automated manufacturing. But here's the really interesting part. Archaeological evidence shows that Celtic metalsmiths really did synchronize their work with celestial events, and they developed sophisticated furnace designs that could maintain consistent temperatures for days. Their legendary endless fire, that might have been an early example of a blast furnace, using continuous feeding techniques that wouldn't become common in Europe for another 1,000 years. The Celts were so advanced in their metalworking that Roman writers claimed their swords could cut through anything, except ironically, their own shields. If you've enjoyed this journey through history's most incredible mythical inventions, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Mythstorian for more fascinating stories where myth meets innovation. Hit that notification bell to ensure you never miss an upload. And here's a question for the comments. Which of these ancient inventions would you most want to see recreated using modern technology? Until next time, keep exploring the myths that made our world.